Hey everyone, my name is Rodney. I'm here with Board Game Geek at GAMA 2020. I've been joined by Matt from Bezier Games, and you've brought silver coin, and guess what? Yes, there is a coin in the game.
Yeah, it's for real. It's a real heavy-duty coin, isn't it?
This is a big deal here.
Yeah.
So this is part of a line of games, right?
Yeah, it's the third in the series.
So do I have to have played the other two games before I can play this game?
Absolutely not. So
Okay.
all of them are very good as standalone games,
Right.
and that's the cool thing as we play test each box individually to make sure that every card in it synergizes and kind of plays well with all the other cards in the box, because they got to play well together.
Right. Do you mix these games at all? Or
That was what my follow was going to be. Is the cool part is the more of them you have, the more you can mix and match.
Oh, you can,
because
okay.
all of them have cards from 0 to 13 with unique powers on them. And so you can do the odds from one box and the evens from the other box.
Right, right.
You could do half and half, do 2 10s from one box, 2 10s from the other box, and you can build your ideal deck. And that's the neat thing about the third one in the series coming out is it adds more depth and more replayability because it adds a whole new set of 14 powers because the 0 counts too. But just a whole new set of abilities to incorporate with the cards that you've already kind of picked up and learned to play with.
Well, I have to admit, I have not played the other two games. I've heard lots of great things. I have several friends who say the silver games have been just amazing. Can you give us an overview of what the gameplay kind of looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So this would be set up for a 4-player game. No matter what, you're going to deal out 4 hands, and that stops card counting because there are a finite number. There are 2 0s, 2 13s, and there's going to be 4 of every other number in between. And so at the beginning, a player will look at 2 of the cards, so you'll only know part of the information of what you have in front of yourself.
So I would have these face down in front of me, and I get to peek at 2 of them?
You would look at 2 at the start, and that's your only chance to really look at them for free without having to do something. So you got to kind of remember them. It's not a memory game, but there is a little memory in there. After that, you're going to spend the rest of the card making 1 of 2 choices. You can take the face-up card from the discard pile, and if you do that, you'll bring it into your village in front of you face up.
Right.
And you'll discard one of your cards out. So you're bringing one in, getting rid of one.
Right.
Your other choice is to take the card from the draw pile. And that's where a lot of unique decisions come in, because when you take the card from the top of the draw pile, you can also swap it with one of the cards in front of yourself, but it'll come in face down. So you'll be the only player at the table who will know what it is.
If I do this, I now know, it just happens to be the same, but they don't know that.
Exactly.
It'll come in. Right.
And so as you look at that card, that's a great example. It has a symbol at the bottom that looks like you're discarding it. So cards with that symbol, which are going to be all the ones that are 5 or higher, are going to be have powers. So when you secretly look at that, you may want to keep it. You may want to lower your total. Maybe you have a 12 and you want to exchange it for a 7. But if you discard it, whatever the ability is on the bottom of that card, you get to utilize.
Oh, neat.
So yeah, that's the symbol there. And then the other symbol is actually going to be this one.
We can turn around this way because they'll see it the same way we do.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So that's the symbol that you want that card face up in front of you, and it'll have an ability you can use when it's face up in front of you. This being the coin deck specifically, there's a lot of really neat flipping mechanics involved in this deck.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we're playing into the theme of it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the A deck's a really good introductory deck. It's the amulet. The bullet is a little more aggressive with other players. You're interacting with their cards and messing with them a little more because it's the bullet deck, a little more aggressive. And a coin is flippy, so you're flipping more stuff, which gives you a lot of opportunities to chain things together. So your turn can consist of more than just one thing, which I really, really like about this one, is you can think a couple moves ahead and say, I want to hold on to this face up so I can later use it.
And tell me, what's the objective? What am I trying to do by the end of the game?
Oh, you're trying to get the lowest number of werewolves in your village. So the number in the corner is essentially how many werewolves this person's going to attract to your village. So you're trying to be the best mayor and get rid of the most werewolves. So you're trying to get that low total in front of yourself.
Right, gotcha. And how long does a game of this typically take?
So it's 4 rounds. You play 4 rounds of the game, and at the end, whoever has the lowest total wins. Each round takes about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how you're playing and who you're playing with. When me and my wife play, it's just a 2-player game, and it's very, very quick, and it's very mean, because we go back and forth because it's just the 2 of us. But it feels so different when you play in 3 or 4, because things will get buried in the discard pile. Where when it's just 2 of you, you can always take the top card on the discard pile, so you're always going to get that opportunity to take it.
Right, because it's going to go around a few turns, just things might get under there I'll never see again.
Yeah, and there's cards that'll let you go through the discard pile, and those are less relevant in a 2-player game, but they're super valuable in a 4-player game. So the strategy changes how many players, what cards you're playing with, with. Just such a variety of gameplay.
And then at the end of the game, you reveal anything that's face down, and we see who's got the lowest value.
If you have the lowest value, you actually get 0 for that round, which is great. But if you turn them up and you don't, you have to take the points in front of you and add 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have the score pad here for the different rounds as well. Right?
And it also has subtotal lines on it, which I really, really like for scorekeeping games, is when they put subtotal lines on there. And the insert for the box is very unique as well.
I was just about to show that myself.
Nice!
Because I like when I see, especially card games or anything like that, that have some kind of organization, right? So that you can get out and play a little more quickly. So what are some of the nice features here?
So one of the neat things is there's a cubby tray in there that allows you to put whatever medallion you have. It fits right in there, and it's nice and snug, so it doesn't knock around in the box and ding your cards up.
Is this piece here, I think?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other cool thing I'd say is probably my favorite, and you probably play a lot of card games too, is you can sleeve your cards and this insert's still going to work. There's a small piece of foam in the bottom of the box. So when you sleeve your cards, you remove the small piece of foam, it sets a little lower, and your sleeved cards fit in the same cool insert. You don't have to buy something new.
But if you don't sleeve, then you've got the foam thing to keep things kind of flush to the top.
Nice and settled so your cards don't take that extra damage you don't want.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Matt, for giving us an overview of Silver Coin. And all of you, thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.